Sony was close. They were so goddamn fucking close. The day was theirs. They showed up with the games. Everyone seemed to be pretty goddamn happy. And then at the very last moment there, at least a couple hours they had to, to have their victory lap. Pre-orders went live all of a sudden, and everyone started fucking panicking, and it was total goddamn pandemonium, around the PS5 pre-orders. I got lucky. I was working on my Final Fantasy 16 video, and, my buddy texts me. He's like, yo, Best Buy is accepting pre-orders now. So naturally, I'm like, what the fuck? Run down, grab my wallet. I'm able to get a pre-order, so I'm happy. It's one less thing to worry about. And I think that's where a lot of other goddamn people are coming from now, because, they wanted to know the dates so they could get in there early, get it done and, not have to worry about it anymore. So I think that's why so many people are pissed off. But I mean, there will obviously be more units to be pre-ordered. I am sure of that. It's annoying because, everyone wanted to kind of get it done and over with right away, right? So if I had to guess what happened, I'm thinking one of the fucking retailers broke rank. I think it was Walmart first. And, once they did, I think everyone else was in a bit of a good old Mexican standoff there, and everyone started blasting. But I don't understand what the logic of that is, because, from my understanding, all these retailers only get allocated a certain amount of units. So I don't know why they would panic if that's what happened. So no, it's just a bit of a clusterfuck. Some heads are rolling somewhere. Sony must be pretty goddamn pissed. The day was theirs. They fumbled it at the very end there. And, Microsoft was even able to slide in some shade at the same time, right? So, I feel bad for Sony, I do. But all in all, I think they had a good showing, and I'm going to go over a bit of the other games that were shown that day. I did Final Fantasy 16 because that was probably my most hyped hyped game of that show. So I'll go over everything else now and give you some thoughts and some reactions. So Sony starts off strong, showing Final Fantasy 16. And, I made a full-length video about this, so if you want to know my thoughts and, a bit of an analysis, go check that out. But suffice to say, I think it looks quite promising. So the next game that they showed that I was quite interested in was Spider-Man Miles Morales. So this game, graphically speaking, it looks awesome. The fight sequences looked very well done. It's very colorful. I don't really know a lot of Miles Morales' skill set as a Spider-Man, but what they showed in this trailer was quite pleasing to see. And it made me very curious to see all what he's going to be able to do in game. So suffice to say, I'm really excited for this new Spider-Man game. I really enjoyed Spider-Man for the PS4, and I'm looking forward to playing the new one on the PS5. Now this next one is probably the biggest game of the show for a lot of people, and that is the Demon's Souls remake by Blue Point Studios. So Demon's Souls is one of the only Souls games I've played. It was the first Souls game that I ever played, and I did enjoy it. But I gotta say, graphically speaking, holy fuck does it look good. The lighting, the atmosphere, just the environments in general look fantastic. The boss characters look great. When the trailer was going on, he was just kind of running through one-shotting everything. And I'm like, okay, it's pretty cool environments, look good or whatever. And then when he gets to the bosses, when you get to the boss montage, just looks very, very good. So no, very much looking forward to playing that game, especially, having it, revamped completely from a gameplay perspective, increased frame rates, probably better controls. It's going to be a good experience for everybody. And there were other games in the show. There was, the new Call of Duty. I've never played a single Call of Duty. Nothing against first-person shooters. Like, I played all the Halo games, Gears of War, Doom. I just never got into the Call of Duty franchise. But I mean, as an action set piece, it looked quite good. There's one scene that definitely made me kind of go, holy fuck. Fuck! But otherwise, it's just something that's always kind of passed me by. I know a lot of people are excited for it, and, it looked good for people that are a fan of that franchise. And then, we got the new Harry Potter game as well. Never read the Harry Potter books, saw the movies. Not a huge fan of that franchise, but I know Harry Potter fans are going to gobble that game the fuck up. So good for you guys. And then we also had, you know, like a little bit of a Fortnite showing and a little bit of a, you know, a montage reel as well, which is all in good. And that Looper game, you know, definitely looked interesting. Not my cup of tea personally, but hey, you know, it's a new concept. You know, maybe it will be quite good and people will get a kick out of it. And then they ended off the show God of War. You know, we didn't see any gameplay, but soon as they faded to black, I started thinking if it was going to be God of War. It can't be God of War. It is! Fucking A! Fuck.
You must prepare yourself.
Ragnarok, baby. Fuck yeah. We all knew this game was coming eventually. 2021. Fuck. And it's coming out in 2021. You know, I loved the last God of War game so fucking much. You know, the original trilogy of God of War games, you know, they were always okay. I'd pick them up, play through them once, put them down, whatever. But the last God of War, holy fuck, you know, story-wise, it was so good. It made Kratos an actually compelling character with nuance. You know, and the reveal that, you know, spoiler alert, you know, his son is actually Loki from the Norse pantheon of gods. I thought was a really cool twist. So no, I'm very excited to see more of Thor Ragnarok. You know, we're obviously going to get a shit ton of information about it soon if it's coming out in 2021. So no, I thought Sony ended the show very strongly, you know, even though it was just a tease. So overall, pre-order clusterfuck notwithstanding, I think it was a great show. They had excellent games there. It made me more than happy to pre-order PS5. And, you know, I've nothing against Xbox. You know, I've owned Xbox consoles in the past. It's just with this current generation, you know, Halo's the only game that looked interesting to me, and it's going to be available for PC. So, you know, there's, you know, I'm really dragging my feet with getting an Xbox console at this point. I really am. You know, I'm all about the games that are on a particular device. You know, that's why I own Nintendo consoles, because of, you know, the games they have on that. And the same thing goes with PlayStation, you know, all the unique games that are very specific to that console. Whereas if there's something I really want for Xbox, I can get it on PC because I always generally have a decently, you know, capable PC kicking around the house. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see. You know, I would love a multitude of good reasons to pick up an Xbox. You know, I would love it if they had some really cool exclusive games. You know, back with the 360, you know, there was like the Mass Effect games, and there was, you know, all the Assassin's Creeds I played for, and Gears of War, and I got all the Halos as well. So there were a ton of reasons for me to get an Xbox. There's just not one for me right now, and I would really love one. But all in all, that's all I got to say, guys. Sony showed the fuck up. They did a great job, and I'll see you next time for another Game Break.